Everly. So Everly is the story of Salma Hayek taking a page from the Colombiana movie that features Zoe Saldana. That sounds like a pretty funny way for me to start this, but when you think about it and look at it, it kinda is. Well, for one thing, she plays the main character, Everly, who starts off in a really dark position in the beginning of the movie. I don't think I'm spoiling too much, but it starts off with what appears to be a rape. In a couple minutes, and she just goes into a room full of guys and shoots all of them dead. Or mostly dead. I can kind of tell this movie had a few lapses in logic because at one point during the shootout, in the first 5 minutes of the movie, she gets shot right in the side. Like, right here. And apparently it's just a flesh wound because she takes the hit and kind of shrugs it off like, oh, like she has a bad cramp or whatever. Seriously, that is a bullet wound. That's a bullet wound that went straight through her. It didn't hit any vital organs. It apparently didn't because she just takes it and then kind of shrugs it off for the rest of the movie, and it doesn't really impact her at all. She's just kind of like bruising through it, and I'm just sitting there like, oh, okay, so she just got shot. She just got shot, and nothing happened. Okay. It's an action movie. And over the course of the movie, she's still in this huge apartment with a whole bunch of dead gang members and some hookers. And God knows how many other people in the entire building probably heard that and aren't doing much. First of all, I gotta give props to Salma Hayek. She did a pretty good role. I mean, I thought this movie was gonna be really cheaply made, but there's a lot of good action in this movie. And some good blood, too. It almost makes up for the fact that some of the points are kinda dumb. There's some really questionable decision-making and some really bad acting. Not necessarily from Salma Hayek herself, but from other less than memorable actors or roles in this movie. They don't last too long. There's also a couple of gimme shots, for, the sex appeal, so I'll admit I looked into it, and I just kind of, forgot about it after a while because, well, okay, I'm lying. I didn't forget about it. They're still stuck in my head. How did I feel about this movie? The movie's actually fairly short. I think it's like an hour and a half long, but it feels a lot longer because there's huge breaks in between the shooting and just random dramatic moments where you think something's going to happen, and it doesn't happen. You're just sitting there like, okay, let's get back to the action, please. Let's get back to the gunfire and the bullets and explosions and all that shit. And then when it does happen, you're like, oh, that's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie, there's a few really random moments in here that make you question the entire direction of this movie. Like, okay, that didn't need to be there. At other points, it's like, okay, that's a little bit more graphic than I was hoping it would be. Yeah, can we tone that down just a little bit, fellas? Just a little bit? Okay. Overall, I thought it was a bit rushed at some points. A little bit of overacted at some points, underacted at some points, but the action definitely more than made up for it, and the gore. Definitely not a terrible movie, but definitely not A-list like, say, Die Hard or the actual Colombiana. I will say Salma Hayek is good to look at. So, based off of all that, I'm going to give this movie a bronze ribbon rating. So, Everly, have you seen it yet? What did you think? Did you like it? Did you dislike it? Did you think there was a bit too much gore, a bit too little? Good action? What do you think? Leave a comment below. Tell me how you feel. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to check my Twitter at AsteroidMike. Don't forget to check my blog. And as always, I will see you around.